Recording again. You know, take two, etc.
While we're having this fun time and you're recording, I'd like to remind you that your soul could be anywhere. Where would your soul be, Jar?
Well, now
If
that
you had
I've
to give an organ.
learned about the pineal gland, I feel like I would just go with the scientifically accurate. Now, scientifically speaking, I'm not sure we have found the soul, if there is one. But
Yeah.
but given that there is historical precedence for the soul being in the pineal gland. But see, the problem is if Vic eats my pineal gland, how did that one dude ended up in a coma? What did Vic eat? I don't think you end up in a coma if someone eats your brain.
I feel like if you eat a part of someone's brain, you do.
Yeah, but how do they survive that? I guess is my question. How do you survive?
So it wouldn't be as kind as to let you die after.
Oh, I'm just saying. Okay, no, I'm not saying that Vic killed a person. I'm not saying
Okay.
Vic is that merciful or censored or etc. What I'm saying here is that Parker had to drag them through like a mile of dirt to throw them back on the street. How did they
Well.
not get every infection and die after that? Like, I guess no matter what the injury was, how did they survive?
You put it back in the coffin.
God. They just dragged him back up and threw him on the street, and somebody
Yeah,
found him
if
in
you do it from the
time.
coffin, it's only like a little bit less.
I. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
I'm just sitting here, right? And
I feel like if um
hmm,
this is a really bad sandwich I made for myself. Mm.
it's sandwich time. Meanwhile, I'm just vibing on the start screen of South. I'm not streaming at all because the whole point of this is we are displaying an aspect of truth, which is to say we're just going to shitpost and it's not really a let's play so much as extra bonus content
Hmm.
because you know the truth is layered.
Hmm. I feel like if I had to eat a part of your body, that was your soul, I think it would be the frontal lobe. Oh.
Well, I mean that's where consciousness is. Then you have to dig into is consciousness the same thing as soul?
No, but I think that you'd think it is very valuable. Mm.
Yeah, but what about your hindbrain? What about the cerebellum? That's literally where all of your like your sense of timing, your sense of grammar,
Okay, all right. So if you had to lose your sense of judgment, it's like a terrible game. It's like a terrible game of
would you
Would You
rather?
Rather. Yeah, it's like if you had to lose a part of your brain, would you prefer to lose any ability to move in a way that made sense, as well as any judgment or foresight, or would you prefer to lose all comprehension of language?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're asking me what makes me me, I kind of go a heart player sense. Like, what makes me me is something deep and internal, and it's not my consciousness, because I'd still be me even if I had a different consciousness, except not really. And then you got things like memory.
Well,
Well,
yeah, but again, it's not like literally what makes you you. It's what is the thing you value the most.
yeah, but
I'm eating the sandwich within a judging motion, by the way.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
judging you
yeah.
while I eat the sandwich.
You're judging. It's called because I said that you couldn't spend the entire time eating a single sandwich. I'm
I'm
just
not going to. The sandwich sucks.
I'm just sitting here, right? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think if I was going to call something someone's soul, it wouldn't be what they care about the most. It would be I don't know, if you lose this, you're not yourself anymore.
All right, all right. let's say it's that, alright? Let's say
Okay.
the soul is the thing that if you lost it, you wouldn't be yourself anymore. Which is a problem, because then, if you just say that, then you can just be like, oh, mathematically, the greatest amount of people's identity resides in this area of the brain. And I'm just like, that's so fucking boring. That's the fucking, what do you call it? Like, the utilitarian approach to it. That's so fucking boring.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
here to ride utilitarianism.
I'm kind of boring. Like, if you say, where is the soul? I'm gonna start talking about math.
Like, I don't know. I think it'd be a really fun story for programmers and no other people in this world.
Kind of like the beginning of Homestuck when you think about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we agree. Okay, 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 okay.
Shout out to the 8 people whose favorite arc was arc 1, and I'm sorry that.
Yeah, no, those array, those data structure puns were spot on.
Mm-hmm.
They just were. But like,
Are you standing Hussey in his 5 cabins?
I I am, I guess. Like, I'm just sitting here, right, and if you had to be like it would be memory. I mean, yeah, that's very mind player of me. But if it's not memory, then it's like, well, here's historical precedent. They thought the soul was in the pineal gland. The Watcher told us that literally today. How am I not going
I.
to be excited about that?
You can have the pineal gland, alright? Like, I'm just saying, the soul can change position, doesn't have to be in one place.
In The Adventures of Dr. McNinja, there's a bad guy who puts all of his weak points into a single point in his body, so you can like hit him in the head or heart, and he doesn't die because somehow he has compressed all of his
Mine
organs to
was
his
the
elbow.
pineal gland.
Like, I'm just saying, that reminds me of the bad guy who was all like, well, that wasn't a critical blow because it was somewhere else.
I'm just saying, it'd be really boring if every single time it was the pineal gland.
I mean, yes, I will agree with you there, but I am saying that it would probably be the pineal gland for me.
Okay, alright. For you, and for only you, it is the pineal gland. For no other people in this world will ever. That is the compromise. I will accept this, but it is only for JR and no other people in this world.
I'm just saying,
Nobody
I
else
think
gets
the
the
Watcher
pineal
might
gland.
be there right with me. The Watcher's the one who brought it up.
Well, the Watcher can suck dick!
Oh, we don't mean that,
I'm
Watcher.
sick. I do.
Okay, okay, okay. So that leads us right. These are the conversations we've had today. We have talked about the pineal gland. Like,
You are wrong. I am right. Yes.
yes, you have one that we are going through the conversations we have had today, but now we're rehashing it verbally. So you wanted
Okay.
to you wanted to judge me for my boring answer on pineal glands.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay,
That's
okay.
all I wanted to do today. All right, we're good.
But the illusionist.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about it.
I just
It better be better than the MP3 pen.
I haven't seen the MP3 pen yet, but I do see you linked me to it.
All right. Continue.
I got distracted. Okay. So the Camille and Rhea,
Yeah.
right? I lost my shit because like we were just talking about it, and you were all like, you said you made a joke about her convincing the armor that it was totally okay because this is like a disciplining thing. It's
Yeah.
not.
Like it's discipline. What?
Yeah, it's not attachment work. You can't. Just don't worry about it. And I objectively love the idea that either the armor is just really easy to fool, or like the fact that it could just be her. She's lying to herself. It's her own sense of right and wrong is what keeps killing her every time she breaks the rules.
She's just like, oh no, I did it wrong to kill myself.
Just decapitation. Cause like, yeah, like you pointed that out previously. Like every other Blorbo barring I think maybe one, maybe, is fused with their anomaly, not like anyway, I brought the armor with me, it's over there in a box. You know?
It's like, yeah, it's with me. I have brought it. I took it with me.
It is, but like that's another thing is like the crumbling armor, like let's say the twins, they have punishing bird, and that's
Mm,
like their armor fused with them to become like the bird stuff, right? Except also not
mm.
really, but whatever. But like Camille's armor equivalent is just the whole ass anomaly.
Yeah, like the whole thing came with her.
She was already lugging that damn coffin around.
I like to operate again. This is, I guess, up to interpretation, but I like to believe that it really is just her.
She's just like,
Literally, it's just a Hawaiian scenario where there's like technically two of her,
Well, I think like back at the
but
corporation.
in a way, not particularly the same. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, back at the corporation, it was the armor, but it was very much don't do attachment
Yes.
work. But Camille was paranoid. Like we know that she became distant from Rio. We know that. Like they broke
Mm-hmm.
up before they even hit Zampania. We know that, but we don't know
Yep.
explicitly if it was because I mean, Camille only gets to make that mistake once. There's no way
Mm-hmm.
she knew for sure being in a relationship with Ria would be, bad, or talking to
Yeah, like she
her.
didn't know that.
So she very much erred on the side of caution, which isn't cowardice armor. Thank you very much. It's prudence.
There is a difference.
Hmm. I think she has more prudence than Ria, or do they have exactly the same stats?
They don't have exactly the same stats though. Her prudence is higher,
I knew it. I knew it. But yeah. So the whole point is right.
and of course, her prudence is also much higher.
uh, like I'm just sitting here, right, and like
Mm-hmm.
I can see how Zambano would warp and twist everything to make it I don't even know how to describe it. Like Camille goes from superstition and paranoia to just, Zampano is like, yeah, no, that's literally true. Like it is literally
Yeah.
true that you'll die if you talk. Because in Zampano she can actually test it.
Yeah. Instead of it just being like, well, I only get to make the mistake once. Let's go.
Hmm. And that's why she was the first one aware of the loops, right? Like that's why she's got all those spiral motifs. Is everybody else was like the intern. They were resetting.
Mm-hmm.
But as their more monstrous natures came out, they started looping as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really, really interesting that in a very real way, Camille is the oldest one here now, whether she was originally or not.
Yeah, it's like even if she wasn't, she is now just by the fact like by the fact of the oldest one here.
Hmm. Now, all of the original cast members are older than her, but, you know, that's
Yeah,
fine.
again, it's like at that point, it's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Bigfoot's older than me. It's
it turns out Wanda's technically older than me, but whatever.
it's like that's fine. It's not a competition to see who the oldest monster here is.
She's the oldest of her faction, which is
Correct.
why it's so frustrating that Vic always treats her like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
And it's like,
understand,
bitch, you're two.
like we understand why Vic has that opinion of Camille, but like, damn, that's gotta like we. I mean, come on, like Camille's work was called "Fake and Stupid" by Pee Wee, and she like rage mode on the spot.
It was called fake and stupid in court, and and she's like, I will make you eat those words. I
It
have spent so many years.
Oh god. Yeah, you really went off on that gif. It was great.
Yeah, it really captured the vibe.
And then the whole intermission where she was just coming down from that. Honestly, the CFO has ended up being a lot more Machiavellian than I would have thought. I
I know,
really,
right? I really think it's the closer energy
yes,
in her now.
yes,
It's
I
her wife.
I completely agree. It's her wife. Cause like yeah, like original flavor flower chick was a lot more easygoing. But like by the time you get to West, it's just you spend an uncountable amount of time with someone, you start taking on some of their traits.
Yeah. And her trait that she picked up was being at fault for everything ever. What's your toxic trait? My toxic trait is I've caused every war crime.
Everyone, even the ones you wouldn't think would be me.
But none of them were my fault, by the way.
hmm I mean,
I,
what
I love our Blorbos, but if you ever ask me which is the most iconic character, it's always going to be the closer. It's
I love
never
the
not going to
closer.
be the
I love the
closer.
closer
The closer is the most iconic character in all of Zampania.
because she's just not at fault for anything.
And like literally half of the things that have happened in this plot are her fault.
Yeah. For example, like the fucking maze. Like fucking Witherby slighted her one time. And she's just like, well, let me change the zoning. And hey, Wanda, did you know there's a maze in a mall in town? You should go visit. She's so petty with what she causes.
And then she like, hired the eye killer for marketing purposes,
Yeah.
which kickstarted the whole loops to begin with.
Now, to be fair, that was past closer. I'm sure she's older and wiser now, but yes,
She's not, but alright.
she a little bit, a little bit. Like past her was starry eyed about Wanda and the CFO, and now she's just like, all right, well, Wanda's an asshole, and I love my wife.
And my wife?
uh, it's got to be so awkward for her because like so many of them do have their past selves in the loops, but like Wanda just doesn't even look at Woden. Like period, just pretend like
It's
vanishes.
like, my pre-transition self does not exist. My eyes are closed, I am looking away.
Yep, pretty much. And similarly, Wanda doesn't even try to reach it. Like nobody's even told Wanda not to reach out to the intern before Woden is dead. Wanda just does it naturally. But like it's got to be so weird for the closer in particular because the closer's past self is literally involved in the plot.
Yeah.
Like it's just like she hangs out with her wife and it's like how was your day? And CFO is just like, "Hey, did you know past you is adorable?" And she's like, "Please stop talking.
Please stop. I want death.
Please stop." But then I mean you've got past Eye Killer as well, but Eye Killer loves her past self. He's like, "Look, I will pick up the blorbo and put it in a box and it will be safe."
The box is a vent and she is screaming.
Yes.
I like like that one like old meme that was passing on Twitter that is just like me. Okay, saying old is really mean because
Mhm.
again, memes die like in a week now.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
was like one where it was just like a dog in a fucking car, and it said, "Don't worry about him. The AC is on and he's listening to his favorite music."
Uh-huh.
It's just like the same thing, but it's just like, "Don't worry," smiley face, and she is screaming.
Let me out, let me out. Okay, now here's the problem, like nobody is interacting with their past selves except for the time player.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is. The time player is like, "Oh, my past self, time to break causality." I don't think we ever concluded what class she was. We kept changing our mind.
Or you just like to say killer of time.
Yep. Because like with space being so big, time isn't as important as it should be, and mostly what
Yeah,
you
Spades owns this area. You don't get to do anything.
I mean, she gets to make her events. She gets to like tunnel through space time. That's like having power.
Behold her other power, knife.
There was a Tumblr post going around about genres of indie horror, and one of them was just, what if you gave a girl a knife?
It really is just that.
Mm-mm. But yeah, she like I really enjoy that the only way her time powers are expressing is she's in the same space loop as everybody. Like it looks like a time loop on the surface, but it's a space loop. You're comboing into your own session in a never-ending spiral where everything is slightly different every time.
Mhm.
Like it's not about causality. But like the other thing she can do besides like going along in the space loop everyone else is stuck in is kind of mimic Parker's whole powers. I mean, Parker's holes are very, very physical because he's space, but.
And again, it's like again, you again in theory, you're like, oh, I'm traveling through the vents in real time,
Uh-huh,
and it's like, no, not really.
uh-huh. It's more like a little
Parker is
wormhole.
going through those holes in real time.
Yeah, like Parker takes hours to get anywhere. That's why he has the dehydration fugues. But like Eye Killer is just she goes into a vent and comes out the other end. Like there wasn't even a vent there. There's not even a wall there. It's like a tarp, but somehow there's a vent now. She goes in and then she just comes out when she means to come out somewhere. Like it's a wormhole.
Road trip.
Very much a road trip.
Lover space and time players and their willingness to just go road trip time.
Just well, that's what's very interesting about Wanda is Wanda almost never goes anywhere.
Yeah, because Wanda doesn't like going anywhere. What do you want to say? I can't.
Wanda doesn't like Wanda sees a space and goes, "Is anyone going to warp that into an unnavigable maze?" and doesn't wait for anyone to respond. Like Wanda went to
The most
Disneyland.
offensive thing about the mall is that it was built by normal architecture.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Like large amounts of the mall are entirely mundane. It's just it's become a pet project for Wanda to make more fucked up.
And it keeps building on itself, so all
Mhm.
the old parts keep getting pushed down underground.
Like I really enjoy that Wanda both has the power of a fucking stupid billionaire and also the power of space stupid magic.
No, that still just makes her Elon Musk, but genderfied.
Mm-hmm. God. But yeah, in any case, okay. I feel like we were going to talk more about the Rhea Camille thing.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about it.
Like, I don't know, I just really appreciate that like one of the only things Camille could do back in the corporation was repression work. Like, right? Like both Camille and Rhea have low temperance, which means they tend to like cling.
Yeah,
And that's why Witherby's the opposite of them. He had maxed out temperance. So he's just like,
I will
cool.
never cling ever.
Just the one time. Just
I will cling once.
exactly once ever. But like, what's the thing? So like because of that, like their previous relationship wasn't as healthy as it could be. It was very enabling.
Hmm.
Like they clung so tightly they were afraid to give each other negative feedback, I would say.
Yeah.
And so like the armor getting involved, I mean that was clearly the death knell of the relationship. Like Camille started worrying that she couldn't even, have social connections. But like I don't know, like the Rhea Camille dynamic has been like something that I have like thought about a lot. Not just the Rhea Camille, because you're not just defined by your relationship, but like Rhea very much is someone who is living moments between explosions.
Yeah. Like she's just like not like again. I Taking dime bomb is a very nice way to put it actually,
Uh-huh,
because it
uh-huh,
implies that it goes once and explodes and then we're over.
uh-huh.
It's like a volcano.
Yeah.
It's like it will erupt and flame and kill Pompeii and whatever was best still was town, and then
Uh-huh.
it will go to sleep for 3,000 years until it can do it again.
Yeah. And I feel like having this situation where repression work is being done on her, but she's into it. And Camille is just thrilled that it turns out like staring and breathing on someone actually is working. Like this is great.
And it's
Like
like it works kind of. This actually has the effect that she is looking to get. So
mhm. And we've talked about how Camille is worried about how tall she is and how intimidating, and like being able to recontextualize it as a good thing.
Yeah,
I think that's just really pure. And I also really appreciate that it's not just like we've established that if Camille wanted to contain Rhea, she could. She chooses not to because of the whole enabling thing. But now it's like she has a healthy way to be like, maybe you shouldn't kill yourself and everyone around you every so often. But it's also not just about that. Like I don't think Camille is like, oh, thank God I have a way to stop her. It's more like,
yeah,
I have a way to, I have a way to show her I love her in this new way.
yeah. Smiley face.
And I think that's really good for both of them because I feel like of everybody, they've been fairly isolated.
Yeah, like Rhea and Camille talk to a lot of people, but
Well,
not a lot of people like Rhea and
mhm.
uh, Camille can't talk to anyone. She just kind of freezes up people.
I mean, she
You know?
occasionally drags people to the maze to have conversations with them, but it
Yeah,
only went,
she sacrifices the loop just so that she
yeah,
can talk to someone once, and then if they don't like it, then she's stuck there.
yep, like with Vic. But it went really well with Kay, and I'm looking forward to being able to do something with that at some point.
Yeah.
Camille and Kay's friendship is also very pure in a way that it shouldn't be.
It really is disgusting. It really is yuck disgusting.
It's like this shouldn't work. Why is it working? Okay. Oh my god. But yeah, okay, so the last topic we wanted to make sure we got to, and I actually like
I still think it's really funny the fact
mhm.
that you train a sub.
Training team. Not only that, but like Camille believes in training more than anyone else on this entire planet.
In this universe,
Mhm.
actually.
She is like the platonic ideal of training. And you found the pun, you found it.
It's like this is literally what she does.
Mhm. And like I'm just remembering that Rhea's the only one of them who hasn't managed to hold a job.
Mhm.
Like to some degree they don't need jobs, but like Neville really enjoys the stock market. Devona uses her fear in order to become a Disney Imagineer.
It's just so funny.
It's just such a stupid sentence to say
It's just like
out
out loud, and it's sort of like an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode.
loud. But no, but like,
It's like Charlie become the game becomes Imagineers,
but like, once you have the context that Wanda bought Disney, and now Disney is weird horror maze themed.
and she's like, "Wow, I can just make other people experience my life."
Like, I think it's just objectively funny. But yeah, even regardless of like, whatchamacallit, like Witherby does petty crime, Camille does non-petty crime.
On petty crime.
Like Neville is just legitimately a stock bro somehow. And Devota is a
The
fucking
feels just like, yeah, line go up, baby.
we're not even touching the fact that of all of them, only Witherby believes in taxes. Well, I mean, Devona technically believes in taxes, but doesn't file them. She would be too scared of getting it wrong. She knows every single nuance of tax law, and she's just
Once
like,
she becomes an Imagineer, she just pays other people to do it for her. She's not going to.
she still has Witherby just do it for her.
Yeah, it's like I know.
No, there's too much. There's too many variables. There's too many things that could go wrong. She's aware of
She
all
will
of
move to
them.
Canada. It will stop her from having to do the American tax system.
Even then, she would just find things to panic about in Canada.
Oh
Like
my
if it,
lord.
like if the maze didn't literally like open up everywhere on the planet, and so she could just like leave her room, commute for 5 minutes, and wake up in Disney. Like I don't think she would have an actual job because there'd be too many things that could go wrong trying to get there. You have to be there at a certain time, or everything is wrong for no. Miss her with that.
She's not doing this. She's not doing this.
Hmm.
She moves to Canada for like part of the job, and then like she calls Witherby, not like she calls Witherby at like 5 in the morning. It's like they have taxes here too.
She was hoping beyond all hope they didn't. Like it's we never talk as much about how objectively funny it is that they're not just from another world, they're from a world that doesn't have countries.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, like well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what's actually true in Elcor. It matters what vibe we've gotten from it.
And the vibe is there's no one's paying taxes.
There's just a corporation. Like a country is so alien to them. It's like what if you worked for a company but you had to pay them to do it? It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's like, what if you work for a company and you have to pay them? And it's like, what do you mean I have to pay them? What do you mean there's just like one gigantic corporation that makes sure of everything? And then like smaller corporations around every.
Mm-hmm. Like so they're all very confused all the time forever.
I wish to contact the CEO of America right now.
uh, but yeah, like Devona doesn't pay taxes, but Witherby is just sitting here and being like, "No, I know how to do all the adult things. Don't worry about it." Yes, I will file your 1090 for your job as assassin for the mafia.
I think I'm technically doing money laundering. I don't care.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know if Camille specifically works for Hostage's family or not, but
I think what we decided was when it was an open contract.
yeah, let's get open contract. And I feel like at the very least, Hostage is familiar with working with monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hostage just gives them a form and says, "Put these numbers in the form you get. Put this word down. Your job is contractor, your job is consultant, whatever it happens to be."
It's like originally what we decided we were going to do is that again the eye killer was kind of decimating the mafia department by
Hmm.
uniting the five families
Yep. Yep.
of America
Of America.
because turns out that you can't really it doesn't really matter if you're like a super organized crime
Hmm.
group if a single monster can murder all of you and then you know what.
Yep. Yep. Like the mundane people who aren't looping are at a huge disadvantage, like even beyond the fact that they can just be billionaires whenever they feel like it.
Just money's an object to them. So the original foods that we say is like Camille's just open contract and she's just taking increasing amounts of money because she has no idea what that you're supposed to get from this.
Hmm. Well, they live in an abandoned mall where most of the merchandise was left, and some of the merchandise just spawns in. Like the less normal, like the mundane parts of the mall are still a maze. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
but the non-mundane parts are still malls. So like you can pay somebody, you can give somebody money in exchange for a Mino burger, or you can take your chance at having one of the deeper mazes Mino burgers, and maybe it's not made of food.
There might be a chance that it's just made of a worm.
Yep,
Worm, just a single.
just a big worm.
Yeah.
Like you bite into it and it's squishy and wrong, and like it's never good, but you won't starve.
What you're willing to eat basically depends one on your tolerance and two on your like first your tolerance and two on your budget.
Mhm, mhm.
Because I figure you could just steal all the food anyway.
Yep. That's what Witherby does. Witherby, like, it's a point
Witherby's.
of pride for Witherby to never spend a single penny. Like, the taxes are just flexing.
Witherby's just like we're not paying for food. You gotta get the fuck out of here.
Uh huh.
We will steal this $30 cheese and you will suck my dick on it.
Hmm. Uh,
And it's like you look at him and he looks like simultaneously like the least criminal man and the
mhm.
most criminal man.
At the same time, and both things are true.
Well, Neville is just like the most guy of all time.
He is the most guy.
Again, he goes shoplifting with Witherby. They catch him, and he's just like, I don't know, just walk in here.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. We determined that Neville just goes up to people and is like, "Hi," when they catch him shoplifting, and they get so confused that they forget what they like. It's like Bard of Void is very strong here. They're
It's
just like,
like,
oh well,
secrets, I didn't commit anything.
I don't have a single. I'm an open book, officer.
And he's just talking while Witherby's stealing in the background.
And the thing is, like Neville's not dumb. He's not, even though he has big
Yeah.
himbo energy. He's a data analyst, but it takes him a while to process. So I think like he's aware it's all a crime, but I think it's not until after the conversation is over that is aware that the cops were suspicious of them. He's just like, yeah. Anyway, I made some friends.
Oh shit, we committed a crime.
Oh right, I made friends during the crime. Hmm. They were the people who
And
were.
they did not look like other shoplifters.
Hmm.
In fact, they had cop outfits.
They were either very committed to cosplay or honestly, Neville might just come to the wrong conclusion. Maybe cops just,
They like to shoplift.
maybe cops support shoplifting. He doesn't know. This isn't his world. Maybe that's just true here. See, that's the biggest thing is like Devona's reports are so full of just like, anyway, here's a list of every pigeon I saw today.
Here's other colors, the ways they caught and they cooed,
Hmm.
and
Here's the people who
like
fed them. Like Devona
here's
can't.
our addresses.
Yeah, here's their addresses. Like Devona gives you too much information, and you end up learning nothing. Bard of Light.
Hmm.
And then Neville, like, but it's worse than it was at the corporation because at the corporation you knew what was important. You were told.
Hmm.
But here's this entire world none of them are familiar with, and it's just like I don't know if pigeons are important, but here you go. And then Neville pares it down and goes like, well, even if they are important, we don't currently have a mission about them, so I'm going to remove that part.
They might be the most important mission in the world, but right now I don't think we have it. So
Hmm. And I think that's why they work so well as a team. Uh, and see, that's why I'm so glad that we're going to bring Doc Slaughter in, cause like,
yes,
cause like,
yes, the queen is back.
cause like objectively, no matter how good they are at being a found family and like dating each other or whatever, like they do date each other quite a lot. But like, no matter how good the training team is at being a found family and all that, they
Congratulations to the Bona for being the virgin pure of this.
yeah, well, maybe we'll
Sitting in the middle while everyone else is making out.
maybe Devona will find someone, but I really do feel like she's pretty demi romantic, if not a romantic.
She's like,
She's
I would never do romance.
it would be very stressful. There's so many things to keep track of. I don't think she'd like
And
it.
romantic sex repulsed, actually romantic repulsed. I don't.
Yeah. I don't think she would like it. There's too much. Maybe she'll meet the right person one day, but hasn't yet. But the whole point is they can't like they're the challenge they have, right? Like the possible pitfall is relying on their insular group too much to the point where they're accidentally causing a lot of stress. And then the only thing they can do to relieve the stress is to turn to each other and cause more stress. Like you need to be like it's really good to have like people you can rely on.
Mhm.
But it's also good to have randos or
It
people
helps.
outside the group or
Yeah, it helps just have like four people you kind of talk to sometimes.
So I'm glad Neville is friends with damn everybody. Like especially the most abrasive members of the cast because Neville just doesn't notice.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, all right.
And he believes the best of everyone. Like he's like, "Oh, like an hour later he's like that could have been insulting." But we hung out and it was cool for like an hour later, so they probably didn't
And
mean
it's
it.
like, well, if they meant it, and I show back up, I'll be like, you want to hang? And if they say no, then I know.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like
like,
he's just like he lives for that mantra of like, is it a problem? And I know how to fix it. Don't worry about it. Is it a
mhm,
problem and I don't know how to fix it? Don't worry about it.
He's very easygoing, and that's why he can be friends with like Rebel says the first thing in his head. Like
Precious Reginald.
Rebel is so mad all the time, and it's so directionless, too. So, yeah, Rebel has 100% insulted Neville very frequently, but they're
Several
still
times.
friends. You know?
Neville's going through it. Neville's just like, yeah, buddy.
uh,
Get it out of your system. Anyway, I'm gonna go to your brother's house and steal his milk.
I still think it's so funny that they all like pester Rod all the time, forever.
It's kind of a tradition to someone go and steal this milk at least like once a month.
And that never even came up. Like they never even went back to Rod's house to find out that. We
They
know in
could
our
have
heart.
gone to Rod's house and it would have just still been Neville there, just being like, well, I took this risk, it's time to go steal some milk.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, at the end of the day, like one of the problems is right now in West is that part of the arc. The training team is still very cautious of Pee Wee.
Yep.
Like they went and sent Witherby to do some attachment work on him. Well, I mean, it wasn't like a conspiracy. It's just
They didn't send him, technically.
Witherby because he is the one responsible adult in the group, registered with the government, and got called for jury duty. And it just happened to
You
be.
look at a man like that and you go, that's the guy who has jury duty.
I mean,
That's the part I love, like the illusionist decided. It's like, that's the guy who goes to jury duty. The guy on high crop tops and hipster match.
oh god. Yeah, I can't unsee it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's like, this is the guy going for jury duty.
It's
Not
okay.
anyone else.
It's okay. The solemn is the most serious of all of them. It's fine. Jury duty will be fine. But yeah, like
I have a feeling that Vic would be willing to do jury duty, but it would be, very dangerous
for everyone else, yes.
for everyone else.
Yeah, Vic is very responsible, very well, I have to do this, so even if it sucks, I will. But like what are the odds that Witherby is just like, I got called to jury duty. Oh, the trial is about the devil of the devil okay. The devil of spirals and that maze monster are in the same room together with that serial killer Camille's obsessed with. Oh, and hey, here's Camille. And she's dead. Like, Witherby was just straight up panicking the entire time and was just. I mean, what do you do when you freaked out and you've seen one of your friends die in front of you? You go to what you know, and Witherby knows how to
Not
do.
even just your friend, your boss just died in front of you.
Your boss dies in front of you.
What do you do? What do you do, JR? If
You
like
you
right
you
now
revert.
you go back to like non-remote work and you go to work and you say hello to your boss and your boss is talking to you and your boss drops dead. Like
you
just falls over like a plank on the floor.
like you go back to what you know. You take solace in okay, no, this is fine. This is okay. I will do attachment work and calm the monster down. And so Witherby tries to calm Pee Wee down.
The best way he knows.
Yep. Now, was Pee Wee actually a danger in breaching? Well, I mean, he immediately somehow summoned Trickster Candy and they all went to a rave to the center of the world. I don't think Witherby was incorrect to say something had to
There's an
happen.
image somewhere of like you seen like the Wojak that's trying to sleep and someone's like mowing lawn outside.
Hmm.
It's like that same image, but Pee Wee's throwing like a caramel dancing party and Parker's
Yeah,
trying to
literally,
match.
literally. Parker didn't exist when Pee
It's
Wee
true,
threw his rave.
it's true, but now he does. So
And now, in retrospect, it's just like, I guess that was just in his terrible weeb cave. I guess that's where the rave was, and Parker's just hallucinating the whole time because he hasn't
it's like
drunk.
he technically existed, but we were like he's like in Montenegro or something.
Yeah,
Weird
but
going on.
now it's just like, oh, well, center of the earth, that's him.
Yeah.
And like, just it is just hilarious to me that Parker like cannot die from hunger or thirst for some reason, but has all of the bad parts of it, including like, guess I'm gonna start hallucinating now, like I'm a man in the desert.
The feel when you start hallucinating
Well, that
while there's a party going on, you can't hear anything.
You're just not entirely like you assume it's all hallucination, but there genuinely just is a rave in your room for no reason. Like it makes even less sense because you're at the center of the earth and no one can get here. Where did all these people come from?
You're like, I mean, people have gotten there before. They just fell down the hole, but they fall like you ever fallen on like spider webs in
Uh-huh.
Minecraft?
Uh-huh. It slows you down.
Yeah, you go really, really slow.
But that's also like the point of the buried, right? Is like when you're in the buried, you can't die from thirst or hunger or even really sleep.
Yeah, you just get to stay there forever, smiley face.
But you feel all of those things you're lacking.
Forever.
Yay! Uh, but yeah, Doc Slaughter is
Get
going
a
to
job!
do a therapy because Lord knows the info team really needs help. Like
It's
trading
bad.
trading team is all found family smiley face and you know.
And yeah, they have problems, but frankly, no more problems than your average person, really. Just.
Well, I mean, they do have all the trauma from working at the corporation and turning into monsters and killing each other. I mean, Witherby is sitting here aware of everyone's sins all the time and just being like, yeah, I guess I have to forgive you. I know about that time you killed all of us, Camille, and Rhea helped you.
And you made out. It was weird.
It was weird. Witherby just has to
Frankly, now
live.
that you guys are dating again for real now, it's even weirder.
Yeah, like Witherby is just on edge when they get back together, just being like, oh shit. But no, it turns out it's fine. But like, I just really enjoy the fact that Witherby is aware of what lies beyond the edge of each apocalypse. And nobody else is. Because that's one sin's whole deal, right? But yeah, like, regardless, they're all healing. They all were really deep in the hole. Things were bad, but training team is working their way through it. But info team is still info team.
Some they're kind of info team has a very interesting thing where they're kind of they need the help to get out because
Uh-huh.
there's so many things against them.
Well, yeah, like, for
Like
one, yeah.
you had
Well, Vic doesn't trust training at all, or anyone.
and also if anyone sees big, they go insane.
Uh huh, uh huh. And Kay is just, like, genuinely, I don't think Kay improves until he and Camille talk in the maze.
Yeah, it's just there's no improvement for him
There is.
until that.
But, like, I think explicitly for Kay, because of how rejected and sidelined, for good reason, he feels.
Hmm.
Like, I just don't feel like there's a way out of that cycle of violence without there being a literal outside party.
Yeah, like again, the biggest issue, and this is something I found out recently, that like K is terrible, but once you get a just another person in the dynamic,
Uh-huh.
he folds
Uh,
because there's the problem with info is that it's self-feeding, you know?
yep. Oh
It's
yeah.
like Vic only cares about Yonki, and once Vic stops caring about Yonki, they will die.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Yonki is forever stuck having to like repeat the same 5 sets of memories forever and ever.
Yep.
And Kay doesn't get anyone to talk to him ever.
Uh-huh. Like I'm actually impressed that in Clown Diary, Young Geeky never sees a mirror.
Yeah.
We should make an alternate version that airs only on like December or some shit. Where he just sees a mirror on like day 3 and then it goes back to day 1. But otherwise it's identical.
It's just like smiley face. I talked to Kay today, and we talked about his wrench, and then he sees a mirror, and the kid's so.
No, I feel maybe Kay's being a dick. Maybe Kay's being especially bitchy that loop. And it just is like I was hanging out with Kay and he told me about this really cool house of mirrors. We're going to go later.
Hey, dude, I was talking about this gigantic spike trap room. It's like a trampoline. You should try it.
The thing is, Yugiki just would.
Yeah, it's like jumps. Ouch, guys.
Yep. I like the idea of Clown Diary Sim being like it's the identical loop every 2 months or whatever, and then there's just one loop where it aborts early
It just quits immediately.
because young geeky is not designed to last for a whole month normally.
Right after Kay takes him to the House of Mirrors, Kay just dies that loop. No
Oh
one
yeah,
remembers.
yep. Vic unalives him. No one
Yeah,
remembers he ever existed.
it's like I will eat your tongue out.
Yeah, yeah. Kay does like talking. Talking is how he gets people to look at him.
Yeah, it's like when everything else is again he's short, he doesn't have anything to go for, but his tongue is literally all he has,
Mm-hmm.
and
God.
it's like that's the first thing I'm eating.
Uh, okay. But like, young
Heavy, yeah.
Youngaki is in that like caregiver phase where they've become so not Youngaki, Vic. How do I always confuse the two?
I don't know.
I
I
feel
mean, I
like I
guess
did
because
that when I played as
they're
them
anime
too.
related.
But in any case, Vic is in that caregiver phase where sacrificing everything about themselves is okay as long as it helps the person they're caring for, i.e.
Hmm.
Youngiki. But like that's why I think that Vic's friendship with Parker is so important because Parker is someone who will be grateful if you give him a Mountain Dew and a bag of chips. But he won't die if you don't do it.
Yeah, like he's very low. It's like he's not a Tamagotchi. He's like a
Uh-huh.
Neopet,
Yeah,
Like you can,
exactly. They're dying of starvation for 12 years now.
but then you give them like food, and they're like, I'm better now.
Yep. But yeah, like Vic likes Mother Henning, and Parker's very good at being Mother Henned, but it's not as life or death as it is with keeping Youngaki away from mirrors. Uh
Yankees especially hard because again, Parker kind of knows what would kill him and what wouldn't.
huh. Uh-huh.
Parker's like, if I don't want to die actually.
Yep. And like, here's the thing: even in a dehydration feud, Parker's more likely to kill you than you are to kill him.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, he's more dangerous while incoherent.
yeah, because he's just like bang.
Youngaki put his hand in Parker's mouth,
The whole hand.
felt around, decided it was viscous.
Viscous.
So upsetting.
Literally put his whole hand
Yeah, in
inside
the filthy
Parker's.
whole man's mouth. I don't think Parker even owns a toothbrush.
I don't think he's seen a toothbrush.
Like, there's a reason why he's so buddy buddy with the corruption avatar. God.
This is like disease.
Youngaki, why?
Gangaki stuck his whole. I remember like when I first wrote that, we cringed just
Mm-hmm.
downright for like a
Mm-hmm.
solid 2 days just thinking about it.
Yep,
Just
we
being
just
like
kept
he
going back.
stuck. Yeah, we were just like he stuck his hand inside inside Parker's mouth.
Uh-huh. That sure was the thing that he did. Oh god, according to my recording, we've been at this for 50 minutes.
That's not enough. We can go for longer.
We can. I
All
wonder if
right,
my
all right.
computer can survive the experience.
Okay, all right. I mean, it is your playthrough. If you feel like you have completely gotten all the experience from There Is from South.
I
But
think
I
this
feel
is
like we need to start talk about Doc Slaughter a little bit first because I do actually want to finish that. I love
yeah.
the queen. The queen is back.
So the whole point with Doc Slaughter is we want like
Loved her when she had to see Ronan and she did that.
look, when you're overworked in Dusk Hollow, the patron saint of no one knows anything and no one cares.
Hmm.
You can't do your job as a psychologist.
God forbid, on the least effective man, not a man.
Well, also, like, keep in mind, like, Doc Slaughter, like, this never came up in the roleplay, but Doc Slaughter was a fucking spy. She was from Morgan's Hill. So, like, she had all of this information power that normally made her a much better therapist than you would expect to get at Dusk Hollow.
Yeah.
But didn't help because again, Ronan is a robot. A
You
robot.
can't find the shape of your soul.
Mhm. And not only that, like Ronan's not just he's not like saying he's a robot is actually reductive because he's an encrypted database
Basically.
with an AI on top of it that's inside of a robot.
Yeah, because again, it was basically like he was an encrypted database slash essentially an immune system.
Mhm.
And the crucial part is that he's not technically another AI inside Watt. He's a subroutine created because someone decided that it would be easier to copy paste the entire code and run it again.
God, Doc Richardson was such an asshole.
And again, it's like how we were talking. It's like I always choose the more impressive option over the.
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
it's just that. It's like I'll just run the same subroutine again, but for something else.
Yep. Well, I mean that's the thing is that because Wyatt and Ronan are just Watts. Like I feel like a terrible universal constant for Watts is having an unavailable father figure.
Me when I can't get a father.
Like I just that was really critical to Watts' original characterization. So here we are. But yes, Doc Slaughter will be doing better, and because Ronan spent some time in Morgan's Hill before falling into Zampano, Ronan
Mm-hmm.
probably knows Doc Slaughter.
Oh yeah, you know that Rona's like, huh?
Ooh, and the neighbor knows Doc Slaughter, I bet.
Oh, probably.
Because remember, the neighbor specifically was a resident of Dusk Hollow who was mimicking a Morgan's Hill resident, but in such a way that he had diplomatic immunity. And I feel like the government would just be like, "You're going to have all the therapy." And Doc Slaughter is like, "Well, I have never met a more horrifically violent person, but in my professional estimation, he is absolutely harmless." It's upsetting that I have to say this, but I think he will be a fine, upstanding citizen of Morgan's Hill.
It's like, frankly, the things that I have found are horrifying.
Uh huh. Well,
These will surprise psychologists for years.
I mean, who has a chance to interview an actual Dusk Hollow style shambling horror and be like, "So, what are your hopes and dreams?"
Oh, I wish to, get a nice PDA going.
Mm-hmm. You
Maybe
know.
a good house husband,
Yep.
but not too good a house husband.
And then, horrifically torture, murder my soulmate. The guy who I look like, who I'm supposed to replace.
By the way, have you seen him?
And that's like we don't touch like we haven't actually like the neighbor only showed up briefly in the West like because the whole point of the neighbor is he's subtle and you have to
Yeah.
work up to him.
Mm-hmm.
But like the neighbor is objectively so damn funny and tragic because the whole point is his soulmate, the person he's going to replace, doesn't exist in Zampano.
Yeah.
He's a shambling horror without a person to shamble towards. And so instead, is raising an infinite amount of children with Tearfing and sending them to the PTA. Just suburb things.
Just little suburb things.
I just love the neighbor because he is specifically designed to fit into a caricature of suburban paranoia. And he does it so well. That's literally what his job is to fit in better to the environment than the original person was.
Yeah.
And I
I
just I
still think
love
it's
that.
funny that happened because of the circle. But we don't need to talk about the
Mhm.
circle right now.
The Circle,
Every minute
Insiders.
we we talk about the circle we're given an advertisement. We can't have that. Didn't hear anything. Censor that.
Oh Lord. Bold of you to assume I'm editing anything. This is truth.
Yeah, but I could say censor that and just.
Just pretend. I mean, I didn't edit any of the other two either,
I mean, I know.
because that's I get bored and wandered off. Um, but in any case, so Doc Slaughter has interacted with Ronan, with the neighbor. She might recognize Nom, but not really know. Just like, oh, you look like a rookie cop. Do I know you kind of deal? Because her whole thing is she's not really great at remembering what happened in Dusk Hollow.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think there's anyone else she knows already.
Yeah. I don't think so. Those are like the two people.
I don't even remember if she has an associated artifact, but even if she did, somebody else took it from her by now.
It's like the vultures have descended,
Hmm.
and also she did not, as far as I was aware.
Yeah. I mean, she was really high up in Morgan's Hill, but it's not the same thing as having an artifact.
Kind of Doswell kind of stole all of them, so you know.
Well, I mean, the whole point is that Morgan's Hill was what Dusk Hollow sort of becomes after the Great Unbinding.
Yeah.
But because it never did, that's what got Nom over. Like, Nom got taken in the ritual that went wrong.
Yeah.
But in the timeline where it went right, Ronan ends up in Morgan's Hill as secret police. And nobody's
It's
caught
still
on.
not any better than his previous job.
It's a little better. At least he has his own body.
That is one thing.
And we still haven't baited the audience into going to the Bermuda Triangle yet.
Yeah, one day.
But when they do, they'll get to meet Dee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Smiley face thinking about D.
Dee is great.
I like how like Dog Slaughter showed up for 5 minutes, and really, I was the one person who interacted with Dog Slaughter.
well,
No one else ever did.
that's because you were the one taking the risks. You were like, anyway, my character is upset by this. I'm like, okay, roll for stress.
Yeah, because no one else got upset ever, and I'm just sitting here like my character got so much anxiety.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I got to bust Doc Slaughter because, like again, my Dusk Hollow setting is an adaptation of it's an actual indie TTRPG. So like mine is a lot more about information and creating and destroying it than the base level is. But Doc Slaughter's from the original baseline roleplay. I just did a spin on her as I do.
You made her special.
So we need to class spect her because if we're bringing her in all the way. Ronan's not looping,
Mm-hmm.
but I think eventually Doc Slaughter's going to. Like for all of Ronan's like stuff, Ronan's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's just like his main thing is he's a robot, and that's not enough to make you loop. Like to loop, you need a singular obsession. That means that you will not go quietly into Arm 2. You will not let the apocalypse erase you. And it's not like
Yeah.
it does erase you, it's that the narrative moves to the next universe over. But you need to have that obsessive focus to follow the narrative rather than stay in the apocalypse. And
Yeah.
I genuinely think Doc Slaughter has the potential to develop something like that.
Yes, girl, get it! Every single time, looping Dog Slaughter. Only thing that matters, Dog Slaughter, 100 years.
Like, cause she's really obsessed with not in a wanderer kind of way. Like she wouldn't carve herself apart, but she needs to know. She needs to understand. And the best part is there's so many blorbos with so many psychological problems for her to try to understand.
It's like you don't even know how many psychological problems there are.
So
And
like,
she's getting room and board for it too, so she's
uh-huh,
fine.
yeah. So like that's why I want to write the Doc Slaughter fic specifically to examine the blorbos in more detail, but I want to know what voice I'm going to be speaking with. So I definitely wanted to brainstorm that.
I
Well,
like how it's like we joked that the Blorbos like had Like they technically did get objectively better universes.
Mhm.
With Dark Lord, it's like this is an objectively better universe.
Mhm.
It's like you're not overworked. Like yeah, you don't technically are major of Morgan's Hill anymore. But frankly, was it a job anyone ever wanted?
She genuinely wanted the Morgan's Hill gig. I think she's going to be a little like it's much better than she knows there's worse universes than this. Cuz like most people like when the changeover comes between Morgan's Hill and Dusk Hollow, most people don't remember it, much like our Arm 1 and Arm 2.
Mm-hmm.
But her whole thing is information. She can't forget.
Girly, heart.
So she is completely aware that there are worse universes to be in. And she is reserving judgment on whether the echidna is better or worse. She has to catalog it, figure it
Yeah,
out.
he has to figure this out.
And she does that by doing, like yeah, therapy, sure, but she's also a spy. We can't forget that. She is literally gathering information and trying to figure out what is this universe.
I feel like legitimately for like the first part of the thing, it wouldn't even be that hard to get some information because it would
Mhm.
just be like something something something, and then Kim would go, oh yeah, here's literally every single thing we've ever found.
Yep. But she has to find Camille first. So I think her first loop, and she probably well, she can't forget anything, so she's aware of the loops by default. I take that back. So her first loop is just okay, I guess Sampano is really important because every single person in this park is talking about it, but they're all quotidians. So
They're all
like
birds.
she learns that and then she
She
learns that
learns that a potential like 70% of people are birds, may or may not.
yeah, she learns just about everybody is a bird. She learns I mean honestly, literally just about everyone in the universe at this point is NPCs. But everybody's a bird. She learns about Sampano. Maybe she investigates idle games a little bit. And then the apocalypse happens and things reset, and she's like, well, that was a thing. Why did that happen?
And then we have to look that up.
Uh-huh. And then, once she's figured that out, at that point, she's aware of most of the cast, because once you figure out why, like, statistically speaking, the world is going to end from one of the cast members.
Yep.
Pee-wee invented a whole new type of apocalypse, which is very exciting.
Frankly, it's hilarious. I think it's like the one thing that you would actually be not immune to.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think Vic or the Naga like I think her stuff fails. Like I think I wrote it down originally. There's a specific tier of artifact she is resistant to, and I think Vic and the Naga are above her pay grade.
Above her pay grade.
Uh-huh. I am certain that there are other Morgan's Hill figures who would be completely, entirely immune, but she was not.
The one thing those figures were not immune to was dying. So
That's true. Now that said, I think Nom is immune to both Vic and to the Naga.
I think non would ever be allowed a single moment of peace in their entire life. So yeah.
Well, no, specifically, I'm thinking about how Nom's hard drive has been octomed.
Yeah.
So if you're in regular mode for octome, you don't know shit, and if you're in the other mode, you know everything that's ever been written to you, and you can't erase anything. So I think Nom is just permanently aware of
Non
everything.
found out he has a soul.
Yep.
He does not like where it is.
Hmm. Oh god, yeah. I hope Vic never encounters Nom.
Good news, everyone. I found I have a soul. I don't like it.
It hurts.
I hate it.
Good news, everyone. I'm a real boy. I'm going back to my bathtub. The fact that Nam gets a job as a paralegal for Ronan, who inherits the closer's consulting business, will never stop being funny.
The closer is the fault of everything that's ever happened. We're always back to the closer.
Okay, so how is the closer responsible for bringing in Doc Slaughter?
You're right. We need to find a way to. We need to
Ooh,
find a way to make her
ooh,
responsible.
ooh, ooh, I have an idea.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, okay. We know the closer never drops a grudge. Ever, 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 ever.
Ever. Yeah.
However, she also never acknowledges that the grudge was there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like after enough loops, she it's not that she forgives the solemn exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, never the solemn. But the rest of them have, she will admit, been unduly influenced by circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels that it is appropriate and professional to provide compensation to everyone but Witherby. And so I feel like one way or another, like she knows Ronan, which means she's got an in to Morgan's Hill one way or another, even if Ronan doesn't know the plot because Ronan isn't looping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like she finds, I mean, we've already established that she can, like, just call anyone on the phone anywhere. I feel like she just,
I have a marvelous business opportunity for you, man.
she just calls her up with a job opportunity. There, she'll get a stipend. Camille hires her separately, and I don't think Doc Slaughter would bother being like, actually, I'm already hired to help you. She'd be like, yeah,
It's
okay.
like, yeah, no, I'll just take the more money, thank you.
Like Morgan's Hill is not a paragon of morality, even if it's the opposite of Dusk Hollow.
It's like, I'll just take more money, thank you.
I'll be paid twice to do the same job. Excellent. But like, I think that one of the hard limits on the contract the closer provides her is no, you will not be providing therapy specifically to Witherby.
Like, he doesn't get anything.
Yep, he gets jack shit. Everybody else gets therapy. And she's just like, well, my visa expires if I talk to you. And you just know the closer would like have a contract and everything.
It would have been like, if you even attempt to, I will personally go down there and turn you into a fine paste. Do not test me.
Uh-huh. So, you know.
If you break your contract, you may be terminated.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, I swear to God.
So I feel like in terms of like title, like obviously Doc Slaughter is I, like just obviously. But like she's not just watching, she always does it in secret. What can we do with that?
I don't know. I'm not super sure.
I mean, we might
I feel
not.
like this is a good time to just end the recording.
Okay, yeah, Doc Slaughter's gonna be secret. I will. I'll. I'm gonna hit the stop button.